Buenos dias. Today we're going to be filling in our Mi Mejor Amigo slide 26, the questions and answers. You're going to be using the answers, this right-hand side, to do as part of your homework. So please make sure that you fill that in before the end of class today. The first one says, what are you like? We're going to obviously delete the question mark or delete the escribe aquí. And we need to put an upside down question mark. For those of you that have forgotten, it is shift option question mark. Shift option question mark. We're actually, it's a very similar question we've had to before. It was, how are you like doing? Now we're asking, how are you physically? So the question would be como, capital C, O with an accento, again, option E, release, then the letter O, or bend your keyboard or do whatever it is that you need to. M-O, como. And now, instead of saying estás for how are you feeling, now we're going to ask, how are you like? And that word is eres, E-R-E-S. Technically, you could be done. However, I love to be very thorough with my questions. So we're going to put in that subject pronoun for you familiar, which is tú. There is an accent mark over the U, option E, release, and then hit the letter U, and then close it off with an end question mark. Repeat after me to yourself. ¿Cómo eres tú? ¿Cómo eres? Your response to that would be, I'm hardworking, I'm tall, I'm outgoing, I'm sociable, right? So you can start with the word for I, which is yo. It's not necessary, so I'm putting it in parentheses. And then the word am, which is soy. And then you're going to follow it with an adjective. So I'm going to abbreviate the word adjective. And then I'm going to make an arrow pointing to the right, because to the right are adjectives. For those of you who remember, you can hit next to your zero. There is like the two lines. You hit it twice. And then next to the question mark and next to the caret pointing to the left or arrow pointing to the left, there's an arrow pointing to the right. We want that one. I'm going to hit shift, space, and it creates an arrow. If you don't get it, it's not a big deal. Basically, I'm just trying to say an adjective to the right. So I would say you should try to practice this to yourself. Like if I asked you cómo eres, hopefully you would say like soy trabajadora. And remember, girls, you need to make your adjectives feminine. Gentlemen, you need to make your adjectives masculine. There are some adjectives that it doesn't matter. Okay, the next question is, what are you not like? So we're going to put an upside down question mark, shift, option, upside down question mark. Same question, but we're going to make it negative. And if you remember from when we were remote, to say not in Spanish is literally just to add the word no into your question or into your response or into your statement. So we're going to still use como o con acento. But in Spanish, the no comes before the verb. In English, we would say, are you not? So are technically comes before the not. But in Spanish, the not is going to come before the are. So no eres. And again, I love my pronouns, so I'm going to add in that pronoun tú. Repeat to yourself, ¿cómo no eres tú? ¿Cómo no eres? And then you would say, for me, I'm not tall. I'm not lazy. I'm not daring. So start with your yo if you want to, capital, oops. And again, in English, we would say am and then not, but we're going to say not and then am. So the no, soy, and again, an adjective from the right. If I do that arrow again, next to the zero, there's the line, hit it twice. Find the caret, find the arrow pointing to the right, hit shift while you do that. Put a space, and there you go. ¿Cómo no eres? Go ahead and try to answer that. If I were to answer that, I would say, yo no soy atrevida. Yo no soy baja. Yo no soy perezosa. That's what you're going to use for tonight. We're going to fill this in today. We're not going to use this today. We might use this later this week. What is name like? So if you remember the other day, we were talking about famous people. I could have asked you, like, what is Michael Jordan like? What is, I don't even know who else I had on there. What is Chris Hemsworth like? So that's what I could ask you. So we would do upside down question mark, shift, option, question mark, capital C, O con acento. Okay. And then now we're not going to say are you, we're going to say is, which is S. And then we would plug in the person's name. So como es Chris Hemsworth, como es Michael Jordan. I'm actually even going to say the name in Spanish, which is nombre. I've hit the underline because again, that changes within the context. So that's what you should be writing in your notes because the name will always be replaced with someone's name. Repeat to yourself, como es Michael Jordan. Como es Chris Hemsworth? Como es Channing Tatum? And then you could say Channing Tatum is, he is, or again, if it was a girl, like Simone Biles is, she is. So we're going to talk about that. This is going to be a long response. I didn't give us enough room. So just be aware of that. You can always extend your box, or if you're okay with it going below, that's up to you. I'm going to extend my box a little bit. Okay, so if you want to start with the person's name, you can start with the person's name. Again, I'm going to write nombre. We're going to actually learn 2 new pronouns today. The word for he in Spanish is él. Please say that to yourself. Él. Él. It does need an accent mark, so option E, release, and then hit shift E because it's a capital, and that's how you get a capital E with an accent mark. Again, repeat that, él. Él. The word for she is a little bit similar. It is pronounced ella, so backslash, capital E, double L A. Ella. Ella. And then the word for is, which we just talked about in the answer or the question, was S. I've also stopped underlining if you haven't realized that. And then you would pick an adjective over from the right. Okay, let's practice that sentence structure one more time. Chris Hemsworth es. Él es. Ella es. Okay, clase, that is it for the notes. You should have the left-hand side now filled in. I will explain the homework later when you get to the directions for homework. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.